This is Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with Succulent Q&A with a little bit of cray. Let's get started with some of the most frequent questions that I get asked from followers in regards to succulent care, planting, and nurture. First of all, can variegated plants handle full sun? Well, typically they prefer some protection. So if your plant has got some wonderful variegations of yellows or creams or greens or pinks, put it in an area that's going to get some protection from the hotter temperatures in the afternoon. What kind of soil is best for planting succulents? I've mentioned this before, that in my experience, I tend to use whatever soil I have on hand. The key, the most important thing with soil is that it drains. You know, I've had success growing succulents in sphagnum moss. I've had succulents grow through hot glue into sphagnum moss. Frankly, in my opinion, soil is optional. So don't stress out about the soil. Just make sure that when you pour water on it, it goes through. What kind of aeoniums will do well in rainy climates? Aeoniums are summer dormant, as you know, and they tend to be a little sensitive to summer rain. But there is one variety that I have had success with and I've heard good things about. It's the Aeonium kiwi. See this plant? This is a real thriller in the garden. And I think because its stems are so woody, it's tougher. So this plant will tolerate water at awkward times of the year when it's rainy. Here's its red-headed stepchild cousin, Aeonium haworthii. Haworthii gets a bad rap. This one is also good and will tolerate some rain throughout the summer. And I think it's pretty. It's kind of bluish green with red tips, but oftentimes people will poo-poo this one and opt for the Aeonium kiwi. Both, however, are good with a little extra water. What kind of fertilizer do you use? Well, as you know, I don't necessarily fertilize my succulents, but for those of you out there that are collectors or just want to provide a really nice loamy medium for your succulents to grow in, I have heard great things about Annie Haven's Moo Poo Tea. Be sure and check her out. When is the best time to behead my succulents? Well, I behead succulents all year round, but then again, I live in a very temperate climate. Remember that freshly beheaded succulents can burn in the sun. So the best time, if you're going to choose a best time, is in the cooler months when daylight is less, temperatures are cooler, days are shorter. That is the best time. If you're going to do some beheading in the summer or in the dog days, I would suggest making sure that your cuttings stay in the shade until they've calloused off before you plant them in the sun. Martinis, shaken or stirred? Well, I'm not much of a drinker, so I would have to say a better question would be iced tea, lemon or no lemon, and I prefer lemon. What is the best resource book for the succulent beginner? I recommend Deborah Lee Baldwin's Succulents Simplified, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. Where is the best place in the garden to grow most succulents? Can you hear me say it again? Morning sun, afternoon shade. I'm sitting under a wonderful pergola. This is a very, very good place because there's always some dappled sunlight, but never tons and tons of heat. Have you ever been a suspect in a homicide investigation? Really? Come on, people. You know I'm a plant person, and plant people are all about the love. So no, I haven't, but thanks for asking. Where can I purchase succulent cuttings online? I have never tried purchasing succulent cuttings online, but I've heard really good things about the succulentsource.com. Check that out. And how often should I water my succulents? Oh boy, this one, there's so many variables that go into this, but a general rule of thumb is to remember to let the soil or the planting medium, whatever it may be, dry out in between waterings for best success. It's summer. How do I get my sticks on fire to color up? They're not going to color up in the summer. It's the winter. It's the cooler temps and the shorter days that inspire color in sticks on fire. So if it's summertime and your sticks are green, don't even stress. Do I need to wait for my cuttings to callus over before planting? Usually no, you don't. But if you would feel better, go for it. Take your cuttings, put them in a box or in a cool, dry place in the garage or a potting shed, and give them a week until they no longer weep at the cut, until they're callous or hardened off, then plant them. This has been Lori Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent Q&A with a little bit of cray. We'll see you soon and enjoy the day out in the garden.